This is Cutting Down the Nets Thursday, February 23rd. If you watched yesterday's show, I was in my parents' basement. I have moved up in the world. I am now in my parents' upstairs as a 41-year-old man handicapping college basketball games. But it's the blizzard of the century. There's no school. And it's a lot easier at my parents' in my own house with two young kids. Paddy is heating up. Don't let Paddy get hot. Is it finally time that we've turned the corner, starting to run a little good? It's feels good to win a few in a row. So now up to 52.2% on the year. Let's keep climbing. We can do this. Looking at Thursday's schedule, I've got quite a few, and I played some earlier today just because of my circumstances for the most part. I didn't want to miss some stuff. I probably won't log the second wave of bets till, 11:30, midnight Central Time. We'll just kind of see how the night goes. So at the top of the board, North Dakota showing in Paddy numbers as around 9-10 points. The line is 3. Some of this is driven by Torvik. Torvik just rates the adjusted the adjusted performance of North Dakota a little differently than KenPom. Shot quality has a little lighter. I look into it. North Dakota's running a little pure from three-point offense and a little pure from three-point defense. So that's enough for me to make that orange and something to monitor, I guess. Green bet. So this is one I have played already, not one I'm considering, but actually played. This would be Elon on the road at William & Mary. Old Bill and Mary. So shot quality's recent efficiencies and Paddy both have Elon favored, so getting points here was enough for me. Next up, Southern Utah at UT Arlington. UT Arlington fired their coach and then all of a sudden played some inspired basketball. So this one I don't like as much, but I think the line grows just based on records. Southern Utah is like 18-9. UT Arlington well under 500. This came in like right around where KenPom is, but I still think might be able to get some more points there. So I'm not in a hurry to play that one. If it gets less than that, it might just be a sign that I needed to sit it out. Anyway, but that one's kind of interesting, just a little scarier. UTEP and FIU, this one is kind of interesting as well. So recent data has UTEP and FIU fairly significantly, 4 to 8 points roughly, and everything else is kind of right in line at under a possession. UTEP shooting 26.4% from 3 on the year, but they did win this first meeting by 20 points. So both these teams are elite at forcing turnovers. They're both top 20. I think one's like 11th and one's 21st or something like that in turnovers forced. Both are 325 and below in ball protection. So in the first game, it kind of evened out from a turnover perspective. Just Utah made a lot more shots, but both had turnovers in the low 20s percents. So it's orange. I don't know. I'm thinking about it, but not sure. Pepperdine and Santa Clara. Normally, I would not make a 10-point favorite a yellow game. I would typically make those just orange by default. I hate to lay points, as you see. I mean, you can look at my record. I play just primarily dogs, but I'll talk myself into a few favorites now and then. It's not off the board, but what I like here is that Pepperdine's actually running a little good. So I always mention if a team's running good, looking a little bit lucky, and that might be pause for, like let's say Santa Clara was running good on 3-point offense and 3-point defense. I'd be like, yeah, that's probably leading to why this is a Paddy play. But this is the flip side of that. So this is Pepperdine's running good, and this is still showing as a play for Santa Clara. So if Pepperdine was not running good, this could be even bigger. So shot quality not, certainly not in favor, but not on the wrong side of it or anything like that. So this one's pretty interesting for me. There's enough pace there. The story with pace is that if you get enough pace and you have a small edge, you just get to amplify that a little more in faster paced games. and you just need a bigger edge on a point per possession basis if the pace is very slow. And I expect this to be around 75 possessions. So, I mean, you're getting like 8 to 10 more possessions. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't make a huge difference, but I always prefer that when possible if you're playing a large favorite. Santa Clara did get it done at Pepperdine earlier by 10, and pretty significant offensive rebound edge. So I haven't played it yet. Yeah, something I'm considering. Okay, Little Rock at SIU Edwardsville. Look, we're playing some stinky teams today, and what could go wrong? I don't know. But I like this one too. The season-long number across the board is around 7 to 9. Shot quality season-long, 7. Torvik, 9. KenPom, 9. Line comes in 8.5, kind of as expected. But recent shot quality, -1. Recent Paddy, -3. Paddy median, 3.3, meaning Little Rock favored by 3. So that's enough for me to stay on brand and play a stinky team based on data. That's what I do. Sela at Lamar. Sela's been torched pretty much the entire season from deep. I don't know if Lamar is the team that can exploit that. Not a good shooting team. But looking at the data points here, like everything kind of lines up. Even year-long shot quality is fine with Lamar in the recent. Far more in Lamar's favor. So I just grabbed the 5. Look, Lamar's stinky. Like, you never know with this stuff. It could drop to 3.5 and be like, shoot. Like, I waited and didn't get it. And sometimes you grab a 5 and it jumps to 6. With the amount of books that allow you to cash out bets at the same odds that you place them, I am okay taking a shot there. Okay, Beach at Santa Barbara. I need to check some personnel for Santa Barbara because they have been shorthanded, but have not played well while shorthanded. Beach has remained consistent analytically through some losses. So what I mean by that is their data stays consistent even after they've lost like 3 out of 4, where some teams is like they lose 3 out of 4 and that's driving their data. So they've had some closer losses and it's just like, I don't know. It's a very consistent profile. So I feel like I know what to expect with them, but this is a little thinner when you look at the shot quality, but still getting almost 2 possessions. The full 2 possessions would probably swing me or confirmation on some of those Gaucho injuries. Merrimack, awful team. Central Connecticut, probably worse. And in the last 10 games, Merrimack is finally getting out of the red. If you look at Torvik's game logs, like I've pulled up on these shows all the time, whole first half of their season was red. I mean, they've got a lot of glaring issues. Like, I mean, ball protection's awful. Offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, awful. But Central Connecticut, not one to take advantage of some of these issues. So with Merrimack trending in the right direction, like that shot quality recent efficiency of -12, and then Paddy being in the 9s, that really stands out to me. It's just hard to convince my brain to lay 5 points with a team that has performed like Merrimack for the year, even though trending better. Another yellow game is Michigan traveling to the RAC. Normally the RAC is off limits. Nebraska just went into the RAC and won. So clearly they're slipping without Meg, and now McConnell is iffy. So he missed the last game, maybe the one before that, but he like got hurt in warm-ups, back tightened up, and just like legit can't play. So won't probably know until game time, but even with McConnell, I think that's pretty fair to get 2 possessions. Even though this is a highly motivated Rutgers team, I think that is priced in. Bunch of orange here. I'm considering, like, imagine an opportunity to bet against Ohio State. It's gone pretty well for the last, like, I don't know, 6-7 weeks. So Penn State shows close there, but the Paddy median's too close. Then we get some big spreads. UTSA covering a big number at home. Florida Atlantic, I don't know about that. So some other ones there. I'll touch on these final yellow ones to kind of wrap up. Northwestern is in God mode right now, so I can't believe I'm pondering J&W, just Northwestern, but they've been playing so well. But a little bit lucky from 3-point. It's kind of like early in the year when I don't think their defensive efficiency is has a median in those 80s. I think it's more mid 90s, and they've had a few spikes this year where they just are kind of hanging out in the 80s, and I think that's a bit lucky. But I don't know, when you do it for like a third of the season, guess what? You might be good. McNeese State at Houston Christian. There's not a time I can say the words Houston Christian without thinking of Night Rangers' sister Christian, like Houston Christian. Yeah, so yeah, you get it. Recent shot quality -6. Paddy median -4, -5. So they're awful. Like maybe the worst defensive efficiency team, but I'll probably consider a reasonable money line, but certainly risk. I mean, this is a very, very, very bad defense and not exactly a great offense either. But McNeese certainly hasn't played well either. So last yellow game I'll highlight is Tennessee State at Tennessee Martin. Tennessee Martin won the first by 11. I don't see any really clear edges here. I'm just hoping for a little more points. KenPom's 5, so just give me a little boost because everything's kind of right around that possession and a half. Like it's close, and then Paddy's like just under that. So a road team within 4. I mean, if that's a 6, it's pretty much an auto bet for me. But yeah, something to monitor. So to close, I've played 3 already just due to timing on my end. I'm way ahead of schedule tonight, but then I'm not going to be looking at this stuff for a while. So kind of the yellow ones I'm considering are on the right. UT Arlington, I said +5.5 or better because I think it could be a better number just based on the records of those teams. Don't like to lay 10 points. Got away with it tonight with Stetson on a 4-1 night for Paddy. May go back there, and then you see some of the other ones listed there. So I'll keep riding out this blizzard as long as Paddy stays hot. This is Cutting Down the Nets. You can follow me on BetStamp, where I post all wagers, and on Twitter, where I post the spreadsheet I just walk through daily, typically in the early afternoon every single day. So if you want to get a jump on the lines, it's there. It's in the description of this video. Thanks for stopping by.